Hello, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Well, Omaha Silver had sent me this article as more fallout from the scandal of relating to the South American gold smuggling, uh, which had occurred several years ago. And the latest casualty is Scotia Mocatta, which was put up for sale after a multi-billion money laundering scandal here, according to Zero Hedge. The world's oldest gold trader is for sale after a massive money laundering scandal may have terminally crippled one of the most iconic names in the business. Canada's Bank of Nova Scotia is exploring options for its gold business, Scotia Mocatta, the Financial Times reported, which includes a possible sale of Canada's most popular precious metals trader. Scotiabank made a decision to sell Scotia Mocatta following a massive money laundering scandal centered on a U.S. refinery that involved smuggled gold from South America. The Scotia Mocatta business, a mainstay in precious metals trading, is one of London's main gold trading banks and is being sold by J.P. Morgan. According to the FT sources, Scotia Mocatta's future had been underway for several months, while Scotiabank allegedly seeking a buyer for up to a year and was likely to shrink the business if a sale is not completed. Although, according to the article, Chinese buyers, the world's dumbest money these days, are rumored to be the key targets of the sale. While gold trading has been in a cyclical decline in recent years, the straw that broke the camel's back in prompting the sale was Scotiabank's lending to Metal, a precious metals refinery in Dallas. Scotiabank was one of the biggest lenders. They said the problem emerged in March when U.S. prosecutors accused workers at a subsidiary of Metal, NTR Metals in Florida, of a money laundering scheme using billions of dollars of criminally derived gold, mostly from Peru. Here the story takes a turn into a slightly surreal detour. NTR reported more than $3.6 billion worth of gold from Latin America between 2012 and 2015, the court documents allege. Two of the accused, Samir Barrage and Juan Granda, pleaded guilty last month to a charge of money laundering and plea deals. After the story came to light in March, Metal was kicked off the London Bullion Market Association's good delivery list of gold refiners. This was an almost instant death sentence for the company, as buyers will usually only buy gold from a refiner on the list. Indeed, in the same month, New York COMEX Futures Exchange said it would no longer taking gold from Metal for delivery against future contracts in the world's biggest gold futures market. All of this is where the scourge of the gold rehypothecation emerged. As in the scandal surrounding Metal, it became possible for holders of Metal gold to sell the gold bars on, leaving them sitting in bank vaults, according to traders quoted by the FT. Buyers are reluctant to take the gold, even the investigations. This means that hundreds of millions of loans made to Metal by Scotia Mocatta are suddenly stuck in limbo. It also means that one of the 5 bullion banks that settle gold trades in London market, the world's largest, has effectively been blackballed. It was built on the 1997 purchase by Scotiabank of Mocatta Bullion, which traces its roots back to 1671. And with the Mocatta crippled, Scotiabank, which has the biggest foreign presence of any Canadian bank, is focusing its international strategy on the Pacific Alliance, a Latin American trade bloc comprising of Mexico, Peru, Chile, and Colombia. It will also hope to find a willing Chinese buyer for the gold trading operation. Mocatta's exit will be good news for the HSBC and J.P. Morgan, which dominate the London market. Their large balance sheets enable them to provide credit to clients and refiners around the world. Additionally, and unlike Scotiabank, they also have vaults in London. Gold trading in London is estimated to be worth more than $5 trillion a year. Although, as the FT notes, there are no precise figures on how much gold is traded there every day. So very interesting indeed, development here. More fallout from that scandal, um, from the scheme of money laundering uh, coming from South America, especially Peru. So what are your thoughts on this? We shall see. It'll all play out how it all plays out. And I wonder if some of this might be due to some of the lackluster sales and trades, because this scandal rocked the entire industry. And it makes you wonder if perhaps some of this may have caused, maybe even had an effect on the gold price and silver price too, because they're somewhat tied together. Precious metals, and I think there's a combination of different factors, obviously, including what we know that there is some manipulation going on. There's a lot of natural market forces at play with precious metals, but it could be this scandal and how big of players and that were involved and how much money was involved in this, and it kind of made the whole market skittish to a point. And now we're seeing a lot of the fallout, and it may take a couple years to recover. And of course, with Scotia Bank essentially out of the business for now, or as much influence, so much influence, since they're kind of off that list, manipulation really could be stepped up by J.P. Morgan, and others that are left there, and they become more powerful essentially. So it's anybody's guess. HSBC and J.P. Morgan. Of course, we have other banks and other situations and places are they're in trouble too. Deutsche Bank is another one that's in trouble, or had been in the past at least. And I don't know how healthy HSBC is, and but we know J.P. Morgan, and we know they're holding a lot of gold, physical gold and silver. J.P. Morgan bought all that silver. That was widely publicized some time ago. So certainly lots to consider and think about, and this may give us some answers as to why gold is where it is, and maybe even why some of the sales have been off kilter as of late. Because it's not just a matter of certain mints selling particular products, like the U.S. Mint selling gold eagles, but what are they, and as far as how that gold comes into possession. Obviously, the gold buffaloes and gold eagles, they have to be minted from gold mined here in America. But other places and other products and bullion movements that have come through, that have been refined through, and actually that was Miami, Florida, where all these have come through, NTR metals. That's a huge market of refining that's going on there. So it's shaking up the markets for sure. And I think it's going to have some effect for quite a while. As to how much, for how long, it's anybody's guess. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed and found this information useful or enlightening. We shall see where this all plays out in the end and who they will sell to. Will there be Chinese buyers? My guess is the Chinese would like to have more of a say, and it would be much better to have a Chinese company run it, because we know we have that sort of the East versus West within terms of the markets. And now with the renminbi as part of the IMF's world reserve currencies, they've got a little bit more say and a little more influence. And of course, if Chinese buyers take up and buy this Nova Scotia Mocadas, then they're going to have an even bigger influence on the markets, and and obviously that will affect prices as well. So again, thank you very much for listening. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.